open that one and check it. And then I create another one that's more of like I wouldn't say professional, but like, there's one where I just follow, news accounts and Twitter accounts. Yeah, although there is like an overlap, I guess, between the two, where there are these celebrity Twitter accounts or internet celebrity accounts where they post a lot of content, a lot of like like YouTube content or like Instagram content and stuff like that, or they just post about their day, and so it kind of feels like more like a friendly environment. While at the same time they also use their like internet celebrity status to post about politics and stuff that needs activism. So there's kind of like that overlap that would be kind of hard to find,
So on like an account by account basis, it would be hard to separate.
Yeah. But I think generally, like being able to separate separate my feed into those two feeds would be really useful.
Cool. Any other way that you would go about this other than creating two?
Not that I know of. Yeah, I'm not like super Twitter savvy, but I don't really know if anyone else do that.
Okay, cool. Okay, so we have a quick debriefing. To start, do you have a guess what the study is about?
Possibly like implementing new Twitter features, I guess, to kind of allow users to create the feeds that they want. Yeah.
Okay. And then, did you notice anything in particular about the options that you used or the way the feeds changed?
Particular in like what way? Like
anything that stuck out to you?
Not really. I mean, like, I guess what kind of stuck out to me was the fact that I didn't really understand like how they were filtering it. I guess like the titles and the way that the filter was labeled seemed kind of confusing or vague. Like I don't really know what closeness means. Like, because it could be like the closeness in between like the different accounts, or the closeness between the content of the two tweets, or maybe it's the closeness between like whether it's a picture or whether it's like text or something like that. So I'm not really sure what that means. Same thing with poster frequency. I was kind of confused whether it's how often someone posts. So if they post really often, then that means that if you want it to be more, if you change it to more frequent, then will it change to posters that post more frequently, or is it posters that like within a certain time frame have posted more frequently within that time frame? And then so it all just seemed kind of confusing and a little bit vague, I think.
And when you used them, it wasn't obvious to you?
No, it wasn't. I guess the sentiment one was a little bit obvious, just because you either have positive or negative sentiments in terms of like the tweets. But other than that, or I guess celebrity and popularity, I think, celebrity and popularity, I think, were another two obvious ones, because celebrity accounts are accounts that have a bigger number of followers, and then popularity obviously is the popularity of the tweet. So like how many likes and dislikes, or how many likes and retweets they received. But as for someone that doesn't really care that much about those things, I think the ones that I do care about, like closeness and possibly poster frequency, probably not. Like the closeness was the one that I used the most. Obviously, that one seemed very vague, and I want to kind of understand what that means before kind of implementing it, so I don't lose any content that I would want to see.
So that's something like if you were gonna use this generally, that would be really important to you.
Yeah.
And how would you go about like figuring that?
I mean, I'd probably wait until someone else figures it out, because I don't really understand Twitter that well. So like if it's not on like the Twitter like FAQ or help desk or whatever it has, I'd probably just wait until someone posted on Reddit as to like how they think it worked or something like that.
Okay.
Because like usually the questions that I have about some application or something like that, other people usually have, or I would just post it myself and then wait for someone to answer my question for me.
Cool. Okay, so I'm going to hit next, and then flip to the last page of this packet, which has a study debriefing form that you can keep a copy of, which explains what our study is about and why we conduct it this way. So it turns out our study is actually about how people make sense of whether or not controls are working.
Okay.
So while we did develop algorithms to capture these concepts like closeness and popularity, they were only used in one feed. So
Okay.
they were only in one column. In the other column, the newsfeed updated at random as you chose different options.
Okay.
So I don't know if you have any questions about that off the bat.
I mean, not really. I mean, it kind of makes sense. I guess like I was trying to make some sense of like what was changing, but now that I know that one of them was changing at random, that kind of makes more sense because it didn't really make sense to me how something like, especially like the one that I was changing, the closest one, the one that I was trying to change to kind of make it perfect. Like I noticed a change in one of the feeds, but then like the other one, I noticed how one of them changed, but then in the other one, it kind of changed kind of randomly, and I like at some points I liked it, and some points I didn't. I wasn't really sure.
Yeah, do you have a guess which one was